Hello, all you beautiful people. How you guys doing? So for today's video, we are once again talking about the Genshin drama, the Genshin protest. And honestly, I think this is the last one because I think it is officially over. I think the protest is officially dead, and we'll go into details why I believe that to be true. But yeah, so in my last video, I kind of talked about like, oh, why it will go nowhere because like there was it was just kind of words. People were just kind of talking. There was no actual actions being taken place, and let me show you an example of that. So in my last two videos, a lot of people were saying, oh, what do I mean by nuance? And they were saying like, oh, saying stuff on social media can be good. It could potentially, change things. Like people need to speak out or whatever. I was never saying people speaking out is a bad thing or they shouldn't be saying it. I was saying nothing is going to change if all you're doing is just talking on social media and saying things need to change. That is not going to do anything at all. That's not going to change anything, is the argument that I was making. And I think it would be best if I showed you an example of something, of actually taking action and not just having words, not just talking on social media, not just unfollowing one random social media and assuming things are going to change. Or I used to make content for a game called Elsword, and this is something that their community did when they were feeling dissatisfied. It was called the Zero Won Challenge. Won is, I think, the currency in South Korea. Elsword is a South Korean game. So yeah, here you go. Dissatisfaction over Elsword's system has resulted in Korean Elsword community banding together and protesting the game over the years. So pretty much what they did is they made a whole thing saying they're going to spend no money unless something changes. This is what Genshin needed, right? All these content creators, all these people on social media, this is what I'm saying when I said action. This is action, right? It's like saying to the skies that you are going to spend zero money on the game going forward. And they also had a document here detailing like a bunch of the things that had happened, like why it has come to this point, right? So for the Genshin example, the thing being here would be like, oh, Star Rail is getting a bunch of rewards and we aren't feeling like we're being appreciated. Or it's gonna be like the three wishes thing, like, oh, after 3 years of support, all we get is three wishes. Like that would have been here, and then here it would have been detailed about like, oh, what they wanted from the game, right? And again, that was just lacking in the Genshin protest, is they never talked about what they want. It was just a generic, oh, we need more rewards, or we want more rewards. Compared to this, which is like a detailed document detailing what they want. Like nothing like this was made. Nothing like this was made for the Genshin protest, and so nothing was really spread in an intelligent way. It was just people complaining about social media, and then that's it. This is what I mean by action, right? Saying you're not going to spend anything on the game and then making something detailing, what you don't like about the game, how you felt wronged, and then saying what you want to come out from the game, what you want to be better about the game, like in a nice, concise, detailed way, in a very serious way. And for people who don't know anything about Elsword, they did respond. They did respond. They didn't comply with everything this document says, but they did respond, and then there was feedback, and the game did get better. This is just me saying like, this is something that needed to happen with the Genshin protest. It did not happen, and that's why it did fail. Nothing was organized. It was just people yelling and crying on social media. But this is pretty much my example of what I think should have happened with the protest, is again declaring that you are spending no money in the update, maybe not even playing the update, and then creating some type of document or something organized and well written about what people dislike about the game and what they want about the game going forward, and then that gets spread. But it never happened, and people were just complaining. So another point I want to bring up is, of course, what I showed at the beginning of the video, is the revenue. The revenue report for January 2024 is out from Sensory Tower. Here's another look at it, and Genshin, yeah, is still on top. Genshin is still on top here. I mean, pretty much what I expected, pretty much what everybody else expected. It's doing really well. Star Rail actually dropped by 2 places, but honestly, I don't think it's that big of a note. And the reason why I say it's not as big of a note is because this was during the time the free ratio came out, so of course this was going to happen, right? January 2024. Yeah, I do think this is the data from essentially when ratio was out. So of course they would drop. Of course they would not make as much revenue because they gave one of their limited characters for free. Considering that they gave one of their limited characters for free, only dropping 2 places, I think that's pretty good. And regardless soon 2.0 is going to be out, and I think 2.0 is going to be a big update. So I think Star Rail is going to be pushed up back to the top. Maybe even going to go past Genshin, because I feel like Genshin's bigger patches for this version are kind of finished. So I think, again, like I said in my previous videos, this is the prime time for Star Rail to do well, because A, there are a bunch of other turn-based games. B, Zenzonelis is coming out very soon, so Star Rail is going to lose its new game status. So Star Rail doing the best that it can for version 2, it's going to be its shining moment, right? It's 2.0 for Star Rail, well, version 2 in general, is going to be a big shining moment for Star Rail, so I think it's going to bump up pretty high in the coming months here. Another thing I want to mention, but I'm not using this as evidence, but I will talk about it, because if I don't, I know people will, and people will be wondering why I didn't talk about it. The Genshin Labs data. So the reason why I'm not using this as evidence is it's pretty much been pretty fairly certain that Genshin Labs data is not accurate. If you guys are wondering about that, there's a bunch of like videos and things. I won't go into it because it's, you know, it's pretty long, but this data is pretty unreliable. But what they're saying is that the day one banner sales for Cloud Retainer and Nahida were the highest of any day one banner sales, even beating Furina's first run. You can see right here at the top of the list right now. I mean, the text is kind of small, but it does say Shan Yun and Nahida, which is Cloud Retainer and Nahida, essentially saying that, you know, Genshin is still doing well, right? Genshin is still doing well monetarily. I think that is still true, personally. I don't think we're going to know how well they're going to do until, like, a more reliable source like Sensory Tower gives us the numbers for the Cloud Retainer banner, which we're going to get in a month, I think. So we'll find out for sure if the protest really did anything to Genshin monetarily-wise. I don't know. I don't know if it was the best banner of all time day one. I don't know if that's true. I have my doubts about that. And again, like I said, Genshin Labs is pretty unreliable. They're known to fudge numbers or change numbers depending on what they want. Again, I won't go into super detail, but I did want to mention that, right? Because again, the idea here is that the protest did nothing and Genshin was still able to earn good revenue. Which I do think happened. I don't think the protest really did anything to Genshin's actual revenue. I really do just think it was a bunch of people like complaining on social media, and there was a loud voice about it, and there was one stunt done with the social media. Those things are all true, right? But I don't think in the overall sense anything actually happened. And the final thing I want to mention why I think the protest is over is this. So the main reason, and this is honestly the main reason why I think the protest is over is because the drama has moved on. The drama has moved on from talking about Genshin with the Genshin protest, about people wanting more wishes, people wanting better content or whatever it is, to a bunch of Genshin content creators calling each other out. I don't think this was the first one that kind of sparked it, but this was kind of a very big one. Braxophone here. I don't watch Genshin content creators, so I'm not sure who Braxophone or Asian Guy Streams or any of these people are, what type of content that they make. But he pretty much called out Asian Guy Streams here, this guy named Aitsu. Essentially, his document talks about Aitsu hating him for seemingly no reason, and the big claim here is that he believes that Asian Guy Streams Aitsu is a pretty much like has a lot of power within the content creator sphere, that he's able to say like which people can come and go to events, being able to blacklist certain people, and being able to contact Hoyo staff to get people close to Hoyo to be part of official events, and do the opposite as well, contact Hoyo staff to be able to be like, you know, don't let this person in or try to avoid this person, things like that. And his main concern is he didn't do anything wrong to Aitsu, right? He maybe had a couple awkward interactions with him, but he didn't do anything wrong. That's the summary kind of this big event that kind of kickstarted this whole content creators going at each other in a crazy way over the weekend. At the end of the day, me personally, I don't care. I really don't care. What I cared about was the Genshin protest. What I cared about to see how this protest would advance and develop and see what would happen. From the beginning, I had a feeling it was going to fail, but this is definitely the final nail in the coffin. So I really don't want to talk about it too much, or I don't want to go into details. I'll explain it just because I do think it is good to understand where the Genshin protest has evolved or devolved into, however you want to say it or spin it. I mean, if you guys want me to talk about it, I can. I mean, personally, I don't care, but if you guys want me to talk about it, you know, I don't mind making more content for it. And yeah, so this drama has pretty much evolved and moved. Braxo called out Asian guy. Asian guy responded. He deleted his response. Somebody re-uploaded it as a video if you guys still want to read it or whatever. I do think how it is right now is that a lot of people are calling out Aisu Asian guy streams because it does seem like the claims that were made by Braxo were true. And here's a big evidence point for that. Apparently, they were all on stream, kind of talking about it, and going at each other's throats over it.
Did you ever speak with Hoyoverse staff about Brax?
About Braxophone?
Yeah.
Yes, because when he DM'd me about...
So the big thing with that is that pretty much reveals that Aitsu Asian Guy Streams does have connections with Hoyoverse staff, right? So regardless of what he says, at least parts of the claims are real. Whether or not he has the ability to blacklist or not allow, push people to, they have a little bit more weight because he did reveal himself right here that he is able to talk with staff, and he did indeed talk with staff about Braxophone. The fact that he has connections to Hoyoverse staff, that is pretty big. And again, people keep responding. Invosity also, he brought some of his own drama things, so he's caught up in it as well. And yada yada, etc, etc. I don't want to go into too much detail. I just kind of wanted to talk about like where the protest has devolved and where it's kind of going right now. To say that at the end of the day, what is this point of this video? The point of this video is not to be like, oh, this is what's going on with the drama within these content creators. It's to say that the protest is pretty much over, right? What I said in my first two videos, I don't think it was going to go anywhere. I fully believed it wasn't going to go anywhere, and what I thought was going to happen is it would just kind of putter out and, like, dust in the wind as the Lantern Rite update happened and people had more to talk about. Little did I know what it would happen is that content creators would start calling each other out and start fighting with each other, and that's where the drama has evolved into, and now people don't even give a crap about the protest anymore. Now it's all about this content creator versus that content creator. Who's right? Braxophone, Asian Guy Streams, Invosity, Tectone, etc, etc, whatever, what have you. I don't care. I at the end of the day, I genuinely really do not care. I cared about the protest, and to see that it has devolved into this, it is, it is unfortunate, it is what it is, but that's drama, right? At the end of the day, that is drama. Drama is addicting. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, drama is not addicting. Of course it's addicting. People love it. People eat it up. At the end of the day, the Genshin protest is over, and this is what it's turned into, is a bunch of content creators, Genshin content creators, fighting with each other, trying to, call out each other, essentially, and that's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. Whoever's right, who's ever wrong, it's a lot of he said, she said. And the current development right now is very much calling out Aitsu, saying what of all these things he has done. And I will say, if it is true, my own personal opinion, right? If it is true, a lot of the stuff coming out about Aitsu, about having this power in this content creator space, to be able to not allow, like, blacklist people from not, like, being, being part of, like, being contacted by staff or having future opportunities or not being able to go to certain events and things like that. That is so effed up, right? That is super duper messed up. I think anybody can agree with that. So once again, at the end, to summarize here, I personally believe that the protest is over. Why? Because I think it was very unorganized. There was no action being, done. It was just people, like, yelling and screaming and crying on social media, but not actually doing anything. There was no people saying, like, I'm not going to spend any money or play this patch, and making a detailed, documented, like, things of what they wanted for the game and what they wanted to improve from the game. Again, going back to this Elsword example, I've witnessed people do it successfully, actually taking action here. Something like this should have been made if they wanted this protest to succeed, but it wasn't. So, again, point A, very unorganized. Point B, Genshin is still doing monetarily very, very well. They are doing extremely well. This protest has not affected them monetarily, and we shall see the profits from Cloud Retainer. That's going to be, like, the true evidence to see, like, did this affect them at all monetarily. And then C, the biggest point is that the drama has moved on. Nobody's talking about the Genshin protests anymore. People are so focused on this content creator drama of them going at each other. And that's why it's done and over with. I personally believe the Genshin protest, the Genshin drama is done and over with. And Hoyoverse did not need to lift a finger, which I think is the most interesting thing at the end of the day. Is this whole protest thing started, Hoyoverse did almost nothing, and then it ended by Hoyoverse having to do pretty much almost nothing again. The content creators started to just going at each other's throats, and you know, drama will drama, right? Drama's hot, drama's spicy, people are addicted to drama, and drama will drama. And it has gone away from Genshin, well, without Hoyoverse having to lift a finger. Insane. Absolutely insane. But yeah, that is it for me, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If there's anything else you guys want me to talk about, please do leave it in the comments. What are your guys' opinions? Do you think there's still hope for this protest? I don't know. Tell me. What do you think? What do you think about the content creator drama? I'm afraid to ask that question because, again, I personally really don't care. But if you guys care, maybe I'll care. But that is it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic day. I will see you guys next time. And peace out.